Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vivian and you're welcome to my sewing channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be making a pencil dress. With that said, let's jump right into the video. So I'm going to be cutting this on the fabric. So for this part, if you're going to be cutting your measurements on the fabric, you need to make sure to add your ease allowance and your seam allowance. So to start, you want to start by folding the fabric over using your bust measurement divided by 4 plus ease and seam allowance. So go ahead and mark that on the fabric. So next, mark the length of the top part of the dress plus your seam allowance at the bottom part of it. So you want to make sure to include your seam allowance to the top and the bottom part. So go ahead and cut off a square just like this. So the next part is to square off a little bit, maybe like 1 inch at the top. So that will allow you to put in your seam allowance once you're done. So next, go ahead and mark your shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. Go ahead and mark half of that on the fabric. Before you cut anything, you want to make sure to add your seam allowance before cutting, okay? You don't want to go ahead and cut and you realize you haven't added your seam allowance to it. So make sure to add your seam allowance before cutting anything, okay? So from the bust line, you can mark 1 inch or 1.5 inch upward. So that would be the armhole line. So next, mark your shoulder slope right there and connect it to the neckline. So once that is done, go ahead and mark in your bust measurement plus, again, plus ease allowance and seam allowance. And next, go ahead and connect that to your waistline. So next, take your ruler and draw in your armhole. Again, remember before you cut the fabric, you need to add in your seam allowance, okay? So next, fold the other fabric over just like we did at the beginning. So this time around, you need to add 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So go ahead, fold it over, adding your 1 inch. Make sure to measure it from top to bottom to make sure you have the measurement you want. So next, go ahead and trace in your back armhole and your neck measurement for the back. So once that is done, go ahead and cut out the pattern. And next, cut the back piece open. So next it's time to cut the bottom part of the dress. So doing the same thing, fold the fabric over. So this time you're going to be using your hip measurement divided by 4 plus ease allowance and seam allowance. So go ahead and mark in your waistline, your hip line, your thigh line, and the bottom part of the dress, which will be the full length of the dress. So doing the same thing, you need to take the front part of the skirt and place it on top of a folded fabric to cut out the back part of it. So doing the same thing, you need to add in the 1 inch zip allowance to the back pattern. So the next step now is to cut out the sleeves. So doing the same thing, take your measurement divided by 2 plus seam allowance on the folded fabric. Okay, so moving on to the next step, it's time to pin and sew the pieces together. So right here, I have the back piece, the top and bottom piece pinned together. And you want to make sure to pin them with right side facing. Also do the same thing with the front pattern. So once you have all your pieces pinned together, it's time to take it to your sewing machine and sew them together. So I'm using 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. So here is the final result of the dress. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you like it. And also, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and also turn on the notification bell. So that way, whenever I post a new video, you will get notified. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next one.